Hello, guys. Welcome to Speaking English podcast. I'm your host, Bella, and I'm here to help you to improve your English listening and gain new perspective of the world. Every episode, I share with you motivating stories and fascinating facts about our planet, different countries, and cultures. We talk about human brain, emotions, happiness, love, and friendship. This is not just a language podcast. It is a podcast about life, beautiful itself. Hello, everybody. Nice to have you here with me today. Missed you. With some of you, we keep in touch, and I know what's going on in your life. But with others, I would like to hear from you guys, so feel free to email me and contact me. I would really love to get to know you better because we are building a community here which will allow us to interact and develop learning connections. Now think, what is the first question people ask each other when they just met? Where are you from? Very common, very normal question. Or is it? And the answer is seemingly very simple. Because by asking where are you from, people are really asking where were you born? What is your country of origin, or basically where you belong to? Have you ever thought, why do we want to know this? Why is this usually the first question we want to ask to a stranger that we just have met? Perhaps the question helps us to put this new person into a category, because most of the time our brain thinks by stereotype. During our life, we develop hundreds of stereotypes. Usually, we accept certain beliefs about different countries, for example. Most likely, we have never been to Vietnam, Brazil, or Ireland, but we heard something and we accepted it and made it into a belief in our mind, which with time will become our opinion. At the end, we have opinions or stereotypes about almost everything in our life. But the funny part is, I said, we have most likely no personal experience as a base for this opinion. When, for example, your new coworker replies to your "where are you from?" question, "I'm from Italy," your dear brain gives you out all information it has about Italy. And that information becomes a foundation of your first impression of this new person. As a result, whatever you think of your new coworker now is an absolute stereotype about Italians. I think you will agree by now that it's not very fair. Yes, it's obvious that there are some common traits or characteristics of Italians or Italian culture. But in fact, within this culture, people can be drastically different. That's why, me personally, I don't really like being stereotyped. I truly believe that country of your origin does not identify your personality. I believe that the only true origin of every human being is our planet Earth. I am a human being and my home is a planet Earth. Wherever I go on this planet, it's a home for me. No matter where you grew up or you were born, the desire to travel and to see places far away from your home is just one more proof that we belong to this entire planet. The whole planet that was marvelously designed and created with love for us, humankind, as a beautiful home, a home with no borders, limits, and free from prejudice. As you have probably noticed before, there is a regular section in my podcast called Where To. It's dedicated for traveling. And despite the fact that we are locked down in our houses, still we can travel by using our imagination and some travel blogs. By the way, you realize that by just one touch or click, tons of video clips on YouTube or other platforms are available for you to enjoy. So our previous destination was Australia, and I got so much feedback from my listeners. It made me really happy. And I know now that I'm not the only one who loves that place. Before choosing our next destination, I asked my followers on Instagram to choose the place to go: Ireland or South Africa. And 78% voted for Ireland. Honestly, I'm pretty happy about this because I love this country. I have never been to, but I'm so excited that today we can dive into this beautiful country together. By the way, if you haven't done it by now it's the time to follow my SEP Speaking English Podcast Instagram account. There is a community over there and there is lots of fun and helpful information. Come for active interaction and practice. Remember, it's the free content, so take advantage of it. Anyways, back to Ireland. Ireland. What do we guys know about this country? The Emerald Isle. That's how Ireland is known around the world. It is a stunning country full of ancient history and some of the most warm people that you've ever met. That's why Ireland is one of all-time favorite destinations. Ireland has this mix of contemporary cities with an abundance of unspoiled beauty. In Ireland, you never have to drive far to come across a still freshwater lake, grazing deer, or rolling pastures of wandering livestock. Just don't forget the camera. Ireland holds one of the richest cultures in Europe, with over 7,000 years of history, from ancient burial grounds to Iron Age fortresses and some of the most intact ruins of the continent. Ireland is a product of thousands of years of immigration and conquest, from the Celts, who gave the island its language, music, and the art, to the Vikings, who raided Ireland but built some of the largest cities, including Dublin, and the Ra British that ruled Ireland as a colony for nearly 800 years. During the Dark Ages, Irish monks played a crucial role, preserve an ancient knowledge, locking themselves up in the remote monasteries like Scaling Michael, now famous from Star Wars. Today, just over 100 years of gaining independence from Britain, Ireland is really finding its stride as a travel destination. Here are some of the highlights I prepared for you. First of all, the capital, Dublin. It's much more than just a pub crawl. It is also a UNESCO City of Literature, thanks to authors such as James Joyce and Oscar Wilde. As well as the capital, it's also a capital of bustling design scene. Dublin is also home to the Guinness Factory, the largest brewery in the world. There's also Galway. It's a live music capital. It's the best place to discover traditional Irish music and sample some of Ireland's world-famous oysters. From Galway, you can go down to explore the Wild Atlantic Way, the longest coastal scenic highway on the earth, and one of the world's best road trips. It's got everything, especially those awe-inspiring cliffs. Have you ever seen the sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean, throwing a watercolor palette of pinks and lavenders across the clouds above Ireland's west coast? Pictures don't do it justice. This is something you have to see with your own eyes and trust you'll never forget it. If there's anything else, but what people know for sure about the Emerald Isle is that it's green. It is so green because it rains all the time. The Romans, once upon a time, called it Hibernia because it seems to be winter all year long. So, bring your rain jacket. The safest time to visit Ireland is from May to June or from September to October, when the weather is pretty mild. But be aware of the crowds of tourists. Now let's talk about people. The Irish are famous for being warm and friendly, which is just another way of saying the Irish love a chat, whether with friends or strangers. They will entertain you with their humor, alarm you with their willingness to get stuck into a good debate, and cut you down with their razor-sharp wit. Slagging, the Irish version of teasing, is an art form, and it's quickly revealed as an intrinsic element of how the Irish relate to one another. It is commonly assumed that the quality of friendship is proven by how well you can take a joke, which means that real friends in Ireland make lots of fun of each other. You probably heard that Ireland has a complicated relationship with alcohol. The country regularly tops the list of the world's biggest heavy drinkers. And while there is an increasing awareness of it, the devastation caused by alcohol to Irish society, especially to young people, drinking remains the country's most popular social pastime, with no sign of letting it go. Just spend a weekend night walking around any town in the country, and you'll get a first-hand feel of the influence and effect of the alcohol. Many people say that Irish people may like to grumble or complain. They complain about work, the weather, the government, the everything. But if pressed, every Irish will tell you that they live in the best country on earth. which I think is kind of true. So there are some facts that I gathered from internet. Very interesting, very random facts. You might heard them. But what I find interesting is that there is a period in Irish history called potato famine. So before the potato famine, the population of Ireland was 8 million, and today it's about a half of it. But there are around 80 million people who claim Irish ancestry all over the world. They don't live in Ireland. Most of them live in the US. Next fact is kind of unique, I guess. Ireland is one of the few countries in the world and the only country in Europe that doesn't have postal codes. However, the country is in the process of designing and implementing a nationwide postcode system. But can you imagine so many years without a postal codes? Next surprising fact for me was that another reason to visit Ireland is for surfing. It's some of the best in the world. Apparently, which I never knew, the west coast of the country attract many people from all over the world year around, but particularly in the summer month. So it's the favorite spot for surfers. So interesting. Also, thought-provoking information is that abortion has been legal in Ireland since 2018, only 2 years. So for decades and historically, abortion was illegal. Next fact. I like it. I think this is one of my favorite one. That Ireland has won the Eurovision Song Contest 7 times, more than any other country. What can I say? Talented people. Now, before we end, I have 6 very short facts for you. Roughly, 2% of people in Ireland speak Irish daily, so most of the time it's English. More Guinness, I think you guys know Guinness is a beer brand. More Guinness is sold in Nigeria than it is in Ireland. The guillotine was used in Ireland before it was used in France. And since 2009, it is illegal to be drunk in public in Ireland. And last one, an Irish man designed the award given at the Oscars. Again, talented people. Of course, there won't be enough time for us to discuss all of the facts about this beautiful and amazing and interesting country. So the best thing to do, you guys know, I always encourage you to research, do your Google stuff, look up the information, because it really helps you to develop your brain. The more you know, then better your brain works. So go ahead and find something very interesting about Ireland and then share with us in the comment section below. And it brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear your feedback, guys. I'm sure you too have a story to share. Please feel free to email me to learnwithbella@gmail.com. Thanks for being here with me today. It has been a pleasure. I'm your host, Bella. Take a good care, speak English, and make sure to come back. Bye.